Hi guys, it's Lynn here. Hope everyone's having a blooming wonderful day. Now in this video I'm going to be talking to you how you can get your poinsettia plant to re-bloom again the following year. Now this poinsettia here is about 3 years old. Got it as a tiny little tot plant and it has grown very well. We prune it back every spring and it sends out a load of new growth. That's some of the cuttings from the spring there that's also in flower at the moment. And these gorgeous plants, a lot of people get them around the Christmas holiday period and just have them for the holiday period and then throw them in the bin afterwards. They don't realise that these plants can re-bloom and every year. And I'm going to share with you some tips on how to get yours to re-bloom. I'm often being said that they've had poinsettia and they keep the plant after it never blooms again for them. And there's a lot of reasons why. Now, first of all, it's down to get the plant to re-bloom, it's down to a couple of things. One is the shorter day length. The day lengths have to be 12 hours and shorter for these plants to re-bloom again. And also a lot to do with the temperature as well. They like a bit of a cooler nighttime temperature. So first of all, I want to talk to you about these flowers. And the reason why I'm going like that is because these here are actually special leaves that are called bracts, B-R-A-C-T-S. And they're special type of leaves that go a red colour when the days start to get shorter. And this is what triggers the red colouring on the leaves. And the flowers are actually the tiny little flowers inside these flower bracts. I'll just show you there, that's the tiny little flowers just starting to come there, the little buds. The flowers are often the real flowers are actually usually so small, people don't actually see them. And they often think that this is the flower, but it's not, these are just the flower bracts. And poinsettia can come in other colours as well. The most commonly obviously is the red, but they can also come in pink, yellow and white. And very pretty to see as well, the lovely colourful leaves. And as I say, once after the Christmas period's over, usually into the January, certainly by the February, they've lost their colour and people just chuck them in the bin again. But what you can do is, if you want to keep these all the time and get them to flower every year for you, lovely, beautiful long-lived plant, is to, once it has stopped its flowering usually in the late winter time, early springtime, is then you want to reduce down the watering. And then obviously you don't fertilise either, because you want them to have a bit of a rest. They have a rest after their flowering. A lot of their energy is going into producing these lovely colourful leaved bracts and the little tiny flowers inside. And after that, they want to rest. So let the soil dry a lot more in between watering. You don't have to let it go totally dry. It's not a cactus or anything like that, but certainly just reduce the watering down. When it's actually in flower like this and it's actively grown, they do like to have plenty of water like a normal house plant would. Going without keeping this dry wrongly like some other type of succulents or cacti would certainly cause all the leaves and certainly the flower bracts to fall off. Now, the biggest thing as well is to get it to flower again, is that coming to the end of the summer, they do like sort of early fall time, they like to have another rest again. So immediately after their flowering, sort of like the January, early February time, and then again sort of late March, April, when it comes into the spring, you start them back up again. Regular watering and a bit of fertilising as well. That will really get them into growth. And it's also a good time to prune them back. Pruning them back again, it also helps to encourage bushier growth and also more chances of flowering as well. The last year we didn't prune ours back and it still flowered, but it does give it a nice sort of compact appearance as well on it. And it also means you've got more cuttings as well to give to friends and family. And then what you want to do then is, when it comes to the end of the summer, when you water it as normal, then you want to, reduce the watering again and certainly stop fertilising. A lot of people think they have to start fertilising when it gets towards the autumn time. So think, well, the plant's going to be coming into flower now, but stop fertilising. And this will help to encourage the flowers to come up. If you've been looking after the plant all during the summer, it's in a very bright position, ideally with a little bit of some sunshine. They actually like indirect light more so when they're in the winter and they are flowering. This will also help them to form more flowers for the fall and the autumn and over the winter time. Absolutely beautiful. Now, what triggers these to actually bloom? As I mentioned, it's actually the shorter day length that triggers the special leaves, the bracts, to go a lovely colour. The lovely red, pink, white or yellow, whichever one you have. And this is very, very important, because if you have your poinsettia plant in the house, which most people do, they're not cold hardy, certainly not frost hardy, so they can go out in the summer, definitely, as long as they're protected from strong midday sun. They can go out in the summer, they love that. But you need to bring them in for the sort of fall and the winter time. Now, when the people bring these plants indoors and they say, oh, it never flowers again for me, why is that? It's nearly always because they've got them in rooms where it's either away from any light at all, in other words, it's not in a window or anything, or it's in a room that has artificial lighting, or both. And it's say if it doesn't have its natural day length cycle, and the nights are being kept long because they've got artificial lights on. I'm not talking about grow lights. I'm going to talk about this in a minute, why I've got this grow light here. Then obviously the nighttime length is going to be lengthened by light, and this will stop it from producing the flower bracts, and then you won't get colourful flowers. So you must make sure, if you have your poinsettia in a house, make sure that you don't have any additional lighting after it goes dark. You want to make sure that this is not in a room with artificial light on, because it will not flower for you. And it's the same with sort of Christmas and Thanksgiving cactus as well. That works in a similar way. Now, if the only place you've got it is in a room, then you have to have the lights on of a night time. Then I suggest when it starts to go dark outside, cover your plant with either a loose covering, a dark covering, throw something gently over it, or put a cardboard box over it, because then it will fool the plant into thinking it's dark in the room. And then obviously lift the box off, or the covering off, when it goes light again in the mornings, and it will have its natural cycle to rebloom. So that's a tip. It's really important. And it does, obviously, it's also good when you have the plants. This is here in a north facing window in our bedroom. It gets no sun at all, but they do ideally like some indirect sunlight. So to encourage it to bloom, we've got a little grow light up there. It's one of the UFO LED grow lights. It's only a 50-watt one, and it's a special one that encourages blooming as well. This helps it to bloom. If we kept this in this window, it's bright enough window. It may still flower, because I say it's mainly to do with a shorter day length that encourages the blooms, but it certainly wouldn't be as colourful as this. The grow light is acting as if it's a bit of indirect sun coming through. So that's another little tip. If you've only got a sunless window or room or window that's not very bright, this will give a bit of extra addition, as if there's a bit of sun coming through for it as well. And also the nights, it's good if the temperature can drop. If you have the heating on in your house and you have it on during the night time as well when it's dark, this can also prevent flowering. So a drop in temperatures of a night time by a few degrees, which is normal when you switch the heating off of a night normally, and obviously increased heating during the day will also encourage it there. And as I say, once it does stop blooming, usually sort of January time, late winter, that's when you want to reduce the watering down, and then start it back up into growth again in the early spring, sort of late March and April. And that's really all there is to it. As I say, this isn't a care video. I could probably make a care video in the future. So do stay tuned for that, probably next year now. And guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you found it useful. And if you want to know a little bit more on how to grow and care for cacti and succulents, then do check out my website, desertplantsofavalon.com. And also for lots of videos on care tips as well on cacti and succulents, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I want to send you loads of love, heaps of happiness, and tons of flower power from across the Emerald Isle. And until my next video, bye.